crime in Chicago up in a significant fashion for the month of February from a year ago. I mean, almost double. If you look at the numbers that are out there, we've had, murders up, and at the same time that we have police morale down. Any explanation for that?
Something significant happened last year when Superintendent Gary McCarthy took an extraordinarily large portion of the special forces off the street in their plainclothes and put them back into uniform, so we would see more police in the neighborhoods. Law enforcement agencies lost their connectivity, their sources, their infiltration. And when you take that away, and there are other law enforcement agencies that partner with CPD for gang crime investigations, now you've got plainclothes informant officers out back in uniform. People aren't going to talk to uniform officers. You see shootings up, you see gun recoveries down.
They say, though, that actually since the middle of February, they've recovered more guns and they've had more murders solved or made more arrests. But there's been something else going on as we've been on the case of police, really, about misconduct. Kanu, the comment was made that after Ferguson and then Laquan McDonald, that police are afraid to do anything. They've gone into a fetal position. Do you think that has something to do with these numbers?
Certainly, but let's be frank. Homicide rates are high where there's a presence or lack of presence of community resource programming. And while as disappointing as it is, we shouldn't really be shocked. A lot of those resources come from the state. We have a 9-month budget impasse.
We're back to the state budget, are we?
Yeah, it's all linked. We in a 9-month budget impasse. As a result, those resources that would normally go to these communities that would play a role in decreasing homicide rates aren't there. I think as it relates to police, the job of police are ultimately to serve and protect, not to accost and disrespect. And so when you see people of color being accosted and disrespected by rogue police officers, and harassed and murdered, clearly morale is going to be down. And ultimately, the police are on the front lines. They feel the impact of when there are not community service programs, youth development programs,
then we expect them to step in and fill that void.
Absolutely. So morale is going to be down.
Morale is going to be down. We talk about the stop and frisk, the profiling, and there's this new form that went into effect January 1st. Instead of a contact card that says we stopped this person for this reason, there's now a 2-page form, and that may be, and that stops have plummeted dramatically since January 1st because people want accountability. So Juan, now the ACLU, which helped broker this deal, is saying, okay, we're going to simplify the form, make it easier for officers. Are people interested in that at this point? Are they thinking, oh, we're going to pull back because the officers have made it necessary?
I'm not sure. I really don't know. But I mean, I am a little bit dubious of a claim that would suggest that, there's a rise in crime has an immediate or causal relationship with a decline in morale in the police department. It's entirely possible, but I would love to see some kind of metric or, I would love to see whether there's anything based in criminology that would support that assertion.
Well, we look at the number of police stops. January to February 2015, 111,000. January to February this year, 14,000. And so they are actually making some changes to that form to simplify it, per se.
The changes, Robin, were 1/4. It was, yes, they were called contact cards in the past. They are forms now. The slang is still contact card. But now an officer has to fill out, instead of 2 pages, it was literally less than 1/4 less.
1/4 less. Well, maybe they'll get used to it, and we'll see an increase in their willingness to engage that form without profiling. That's the balancing act they have to try to perform.